Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Heart of New York show. I'm very happy and excited to have our friend Chuck Deeney on today. And I'll tell you why, because we're going to cover a subject I really never covered before. And it's, to me, very inspiring to, to speak and to know an actor. I love the theater, I love the movies, and there's so many of you out there that love it too. And we're going to find out what makes a person want to do this. Okay, we have seen Chuck perform, and he was inspiring to us. And I say, and not only that, I saw something special in this man, something that he could, that he, when you doing something that, as I feel, that's God ordained, you really do it well. And so I applaud this man, and I welcome here today. And there's so many things we want to go over, Chuck. Say hi to everybody.
Hello there.
And so many things I want to go over today because I want the people out there to know what inspires you. What has inspired you? Now, to give you a little idea before he starts talking, because I want you to know he's very qualified. He's a professional, member of SAG, and he's got all the talent to do it. And he's also a member of the Little Lake Harbor Theater. You started in Cemetery Club, okay? You were Wilson and Harvey. Everybody knows about that show, Harvey. And Oscar in The Odd Couple. Now, that must have been interesting.
Yeah, it was.
So, what was your favorite one out of these?
Uh, I would say probably Cemetery Club because I got to play the lead role there. There was only one guy in the whole play; all the rest were females. So it was interesting, and got to be the leading man, so to speak. I never did that before. But the thing about acting is there's always something different you can do. There's always some way to project yourself for the character you're involved with, which really, if you're really into acting, this is like a gift to you, because it's like you could play a bad guy, you could play a good guy, you could play a funny guy. It's all different, and it gives you so much different range to really think out of the box and really test your ability.
But, the thing is, there's so much behind that. I mean, uh, are you saying that you actually become the character you're playing?
You try to best you can. Moment, a good example, when you walk out on stage and you're in character, a lot of things can go wrong. Like your person you're playing off of forgets his lines. If you're really in tune with the whole character, you can just keep, become that person and just keep on going. Even if something goes wrong, you're still in character and you take it from there. I know actors who actually, the day of the performance, become the character early in the day and stay in character right to the end of the show that night. That's a lot of work.
Now, I can imagine. So, how does one do that? I mean, how do you get yourself to quit? Like in what was it? The cemetery.
Cemetery Club.
How did you align yourself to be that character? What you just talked about. People are wondering, well, how do I do that? Do you study it? Do you act it before you act it? How do you do that?
Well, you try several different ways to project the character. And a lot of times it's like, not too good. But if you really, and I'm saying if you're lucky and you nail it on the head, you could feel it, the rest of the cast can feel it. And to prepare for that is just repetition, just over and over. And you do what you have to do to become this character. And whatever works for you. Every actor is different. So I've seen, especially like I've seen stand up when I do that on side, I see different comedians go off on the side and just like walk around circles and get ready to perform. And, it's one way to do it. Other guys, I've seen them taking a nap in a seat, and they come out and they rock the show. So everyone's different when it comes to that.
So you actually we said this before, you actually become the actor, the part that you're playing. And that, I think, is what people can pick up
Yep.
when they watch you. They're saying, "Oh, boy, that's natural."
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
He's
the whole
he's not
thing.
even acting. I think that's really hit.
Well, you don't want to look like you're acting the part. You just want to look like, hey, I am this person. I've done research. There's a lot of little methods you could do before you pick up the script. And, what's the person's background? Why is he in this room with this person? There's a lot of extra stuff to do, whether it's on the stage or on a film or whatever. And once you get all the little details in place, it makes it a lot easier to portray that actor. So it's kind of personal. Everyone's different in what they do. Some people, they could just walk in off the street, okay, let's go, boom, and we're done. Other people's really got to have a moment of silence, think about it, get themselves psyched, so to speak, to be in the zone. And, it's all very personal.
That's fascinating. Now, behind that, and this could be the hard part for people, is memorizing the lines.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That is a challenge because some people, they'll see the book and say play, and you start flipping through it and say, oh man, I got 20 pages to go here. And some people, they have to practice off with another person. Other people just sit and read it over and over, and in their mind think how they're going to do it, where they're going to walk. That's basically the way I do it. I just keep studying. And the last play I did a couple months ago, I had about 30 something pages to study. And funny story with that is I went to Costa Rica. I took my script with me. I came home, and as soon as I got off the plane, boom, I have a stroke. So they immediately take me to the hospital. And you get through customs a lot quicker that way, by the way. And they juice me up and all the good stuff. Next morning, I wake up and I'm totally back to normal. I was like, okay, let me see this script. So I'm going through it and I'm remembering all my lines. I'm there, okay, we're good to go.
Stroke.
After a stroke. Luckily, in the airport, a friend of mine was there. I'm there, you got aspirin? They go, yeah, right here. And they give me 4 of them. I chewed them up, downed them real quick. And the attending in the ambulance said, that was a good move on your part. They go, that's good for a stroke or, heart attack. But, knock wood, everything worked out fine, and I remembered all my lines that way.
And that's incredible because you would think after going through something like that you would have to re-memorize all your lines.
Yeah, but no, they went pretty good. And I amazed myself because back in the 70s, everyone was partying left and right, and we're getting older now. And it's like, okay, am I going to remember all this stuff? And luckily, if I do forget a line, any good actor will tell you, you got to improvise. You can't stop, you can't stutter. You just keep on going. And if the other actor you're working off is proficient, he'll catch up on that and just roll with the punches, and it'll never be seen by the audience. And I've had the good luck, to have that happen a couple times, not too often. And it went really smooth, and you'd be like high-fiving the guy afterwards, like, oh, that was a good comeback,
That is something. I want to get to the genesis. We're going to go over a lot more stuff here because these things that you worked in were fascinating. And but what started this? I mean, everyone, young and old, they'll look at a movie and they'll go to a big silver screen event or something like that, and they'll say, "Oh man, I'd love to be on stage and all that." Why can't everybody do it then?
If everyone could, they would. But I know so many talented actors out there, and when they get up in the morning, the first thing they do, they're on the computer submitting films and headshots and resumes, and they're not getting work. There's so many people out there trying to do it. But I do community theater, I think, because it keeps me fresh, keeps me green in my profession, and also too with the community theater, anything we make goes towards the local food bank. So at the same time, you're learning, you're growing, you're having a good time doing it, but you're also making a difference for someone, hopefully. So that's important, I think.
And so many people saying, you're completely different than the parts you play. I hear that so many times. You know, like um, years ago, I had two actors as roommates. Angela could tell you this, and it was the greatest experience I ever had living with two actors. I mean, they bring it home, or they'll do something crazy and this and that. And I'm saying, hey, I love this, man. And that's the way they are, and they have come out to be all over the TV, in the movies. These two guys, and it's really fascinating. But I'm convinced, Chuck, that it's a gift. It's just like someone has a gift to be a surgeon, someone has a gift to be a pilot, someone has a gift to be you have a gift to act. There's no other way you could do it and make it believable and be successful. I don't think so.
No, but there's different ranges of success in this field, and unfortunately, a very high number don't make a living out of it. But luckily for me, I don't have to make a living out of it. I've been blessed that way with all my other gifts I've accommodated during the years. But it's a good thing to just keep on pursuing your dream, and you never give up, and you keep on doing it. And if you still love it, there's no reason not to do it. A lot of people say, oh, if I don't get my first TV show in 5 years, I'm quitting. Well, maybe this isn't the field for you, and do you really want to waste 5 years pursuing something you're not totally passionate about? You could be passionate about something, but never make it, like George Clooney or one of them guys. But as long as you're happy in what you do, that's half the battle right there. And a lot of people do this. They do the community theater, they do, extra work, background work, and, it can be rewarding. You get paid for some of that stuff, but, for me, it's something that I always wanted to do. And then in a period of my life when I was going through a big transition, I said, I'm going to pursue things that I always wanted to do and haven't had a chance to do it. And it worked out fine. I'm enjoying myself. I'm helping people out. And that's the thing. If you could help a couple people out along the way, that's beautiful. That's a bonus. That's a bonus.
That's wonderful. You see, that's the key. You got to pass it on to keep it. I'm a firm believer in that, and it has to be like when I asked him, I said, I don't believe everyone's going to be an actor, but you must pursue your desires, because there's been stories that I've heard of famous people that didn't get even off the ground till they were 60, 70 years old, and they became famous, and all of a sudden you see them in major motion pictures.
Absolutely.
And that's a wonderful thing, but it takes persistence. But I think with acting, we're going a little step further, because there's so many things, according to what Chuck is telling us, you have to memorize the lines. You have to become the character that you're looking at. You have to want to be able to portray the character. Like some people I hear, they get a role and they say, no, I want to turn it, I turned it down. I don't want to do that. Now, that's only because they feel that they really can't experience that. Do you think?
That's part of it. Other times it's like, bottom line, if it doesn't interest you, like this one, like say they give you a role and say, okay, you're going to do this. And you're like, I can't really embrace the role. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's better to work outside your comfort zone as much as you can, because when you do that, things broaden for you. Your whole outlook on things, you have a little more courage next time to go a little bit further.
But what do you mean by that? Broaden your what? What do you
Okay,
mean?
say,
Yeah.
all right, okay, say Sam Elliott. Everyone knows him as almost like the Marlboro Man. He's always a cowboy. And if you've seen him as, say, a director in a French dance recital, you wouldn't really buy it, or say John Wayne was doing something like that. You wouldn't really buy it. And the actor knows, a good actor knows his limitation, and they want to do a good job. They really do want a good job. And if you can't give it 100%, and you're just going to meander through it, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're not doing the rest of the cast any favors or the director. It's like, go into it, and even if you're not 100% comfortable with it, try it. You may surprise yourself, and once you do, the outlook on things are now wider for your future.
So that's what you mean by getting out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. You also played not played, you worked in extras in NBC's Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
That was another hospital movie. My
Right.
job was, I was pumping some guy coming in the emergency room. It was fun, but especially if you're not in the union, you could do a 16-hour day easy, and you don't get paid that well. But a lot of people consider, okay, this is paying your dues, and I totally get that. But after a while, it's like, okay, I paid my dues. I'll pass on the next extra or background work, depending on what it is. I was lucky enough. I was in Central Park once doing scene from Ugly Betty, that TV show years ago.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
Yeah. So while I was doing it, one of my acting coaches was walking by, and he goes, "Hey, Chuck, how you doing?" I was like, "Okay." He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm working on Ugly Betty." He goes, "Background work?" I said, "Yeah." So he walks away, and then about a minute later, he turns around, comes back, he leans into me and goes, "Just ask yourself, how is this advancing my career?"
Ah,
And he made sense there. It was a new experience at the time doing the background work. Like, hey,
right.
this is how TV works, and blah blah blah. And once you get into the union, you're guaranteed X amount of dollars.
That's the Screen Actors Guild, by
Right.
the way.
And it's nice getting paid a little bit more, but still, these actors work 16 to 18-hour days, and that's a long day.
See, people aren't aware of that they work those hours, and there's no clock. So if these people got to work, and a lot of them do, in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, I've done
Say-
that many times.
Right. In New York City, you see these scenes on these New York shows, and they're in there in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
There's no time, and you got to do it.
No, and they are very slow to move along. They'll reset a scene, and then it'll be like another 45 minutes before they do the same scene again. And if you're background or something like that, it's like, okay, we're going to wait some more. And if you're one of the unfortunate who don't get picked for a scene, you're sitting and holding for quite a few hours. And
Wow.
that could be a little, time consuming, and you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, but once again, you're paying your dues.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. Now, also, the movie Duplicity,
Mm-hmm.
it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You were in War of the Worlds.
Yeah, yeah. Me and my truck.
With Ted Cruz? That
Yeah.
War of the Worlds?
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Tom Cruise, Ted. Sorry.
Well, that's his bro. He was in it too. He was an extra. But no, it was me and my truck. We had my truck on the highway in New York, and they go, okay, we want you to have the hood open and stand next to it shaking your head like, what the heck's going on with my truck? And then they have a big truck whiz by you, and that was it. And that was the whole scene I was there from 4:30 in the morning to like 4 o'clock at night.
Just for that.
Just for that.
That is incredible.
That's dedication.
So how long to make a motion picture? How many months does it take?
It depends. Especially with all the special effects they have now, that's all separate in a sound studio, and they're wiring up the actor with all these little motion sensors, and there's a lot involved. It used to take under a year back in the day. Way back, under a year to make a movie. Now, a year or two.
Nothing.
That's That's
And it
not unheard of.
usually, and then it doesn't come out for a year or two after that, right?
Right, right. There's movies in the can, as they say it now, that have been made 3 years ago, and they're just figuring out, okay, maybe we should release it Christmas time. No, we'll wait for the summer.
But the actors already got paid. I
Oh
would
yeah,
assume.
they're
Right,
paid
so-
working on their fifth
So-
movie since then. So
Now, Rescue Me. That show, you've been on 13 various parts.
yeah, that was fun. It was a show, if you don't know Rescue Me, based in the New York Fire Department, and Dennis Leary was the main character, and it was set around 9/11, just after, and I got to play a fireman. There's a stretch in most of the scenes I did. And it was a lot of fun. I got to play hockey the one time with Dennis Leary. They said, "You know how to play hockey?" I'm like, "Sure, I got all the equipment. I had to go dust everything off, but I still could skate."
And also 30 Rock. How'd you like that?
That was fun. That was just before Hurricane Sandy hit, and it was in Rockefeller Center, the little plaza there.
Right.
And I was in a Jimmy Buffett kind of band, and I got to play the guitar, which I do anyway. And we were just out there for a good 3/4 of a day, and Jane Kalikoski, she was in 30 Rock, and Ally McBeal, you'll know her
Right.
if you see her, and she was playing guitar with a wonderful actress, really nice lady.
That's something. That's something. Also, Law and Order.
Mhm.
How was that? SVU.
That wasn't bad. I mean, we were in the jury box, and they kept prompting you, like, okay, make sure like you're looking like you don't believe this guy. So,
Yeah.
you were constantly making facial expressions, like, I don't know about this guy. But it was fun. It was
No,
fun.
I mean, there was one of the Law and Order shows. I remember walking down 55th Street, I think it was, and then between on the west side. But anyway, there was one of the actors that came out and was memorizing, having a cigarette, memorizing his lines, sitting right there. And I just love that. You see them all in the city, and it's so wonderful. Now, I want to get to the part where, because, he's out there passing it on, and I'm not talking about the talent he has as far as acting. He has a good heart, okay? You were also, and I say that because you were also part of the World Trade Center recovery team. What was that like?
When the trade centers were first attacked, I was on duty, and we're in Irvington, New Jersey, which is right over the river. I could actually see the Twin Towers from the roof of my station, and we're watching this unfold in front of us, and we're seeing the towers fall, and the first thing in our mind and out of our mouth is, my God, there's first responders in there among victims. And we didn't know exactly what was going to happen next. We were on total shutdown. They didn't know if were we going to be attacked, because one of the planes came out of Newark Airport, which is right the next town over. But we were sent over, well, we actually volunteered to go over the next 2 days and do whatever we can. And when we went over the next day, they sent us right to the pile. And they said, it was such chaos, but everyone pulled together and just started working where they could. They didn't know what they would find, would they actually help, but that's basically all we wanted to do, is just go there and help best we can. And we did help. We went to a senior citizen apartment house that was totally in the black. We had to go up 30 stories and escort seniors down, which was great because we were there to help. That's all we wanted to do. After 2 days, they suspended all outside operations, and they just said, all right, thanks for the help, guys. We're going to take it from here. And that was it. But we were very happy to be there,
Right.
To help
Did
in
you
any
wear a
way.
mask?
Yeah, a nice painter's mask.
All right.
They're, very.
There's so many people having problems today from
Oh, yeah.
breathing in that asbestos. That's
Oh yeah.
why.
Oh, it was.
I mean, when I went
unbelievable.
by there, it looked like some Arnold Schwarzenegger war movie
Yeah.
with it scene. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. We're coming to the end of the show, and I want to, I want you to talk to the audience and tell the people out there, how can they, if they really have a burning desire to do this and to act, what, can you just give them a few examples, just lay out a little groundwork, or track for them to run on? Is it taking, still shots or photo shots and getting it out to agents? What do they do?
Well, today a lot of it's on the internet because when I was out passing my headshots around and resume, I was going basically door to door. I'd go in Manhattan and say, okay, I'm going to ABC today, CBS, this other agency, and I'd line them up, knock on the door, hey, here you go, and you keep your fingers crossed. But now a lot of it is on computer, and so you don't have to pay to go over to New York, but you have to do the legwork a little bit. You got to get the headshot. You got to get the resume. You're going to spend a little bit of money, but it's an investment, and you're investing in yourself. And if it doesn't work out, hey, fine. But at least you made the effort to better yourself or to advance yourself. And I haven't made the big time or anything like that, but I tell you, I am more satisfied with what I've done than I could have ever dreamed. And with the community theater, and how we help out our community with that, at least it's not just, okay, I'm just beating my head against the wall. We're helping people out. So if you can get involved with something like that, and just the fact that you're acting, you're going to get better at your craft. The more you do, will it pay off in,
That's the
millions
key.
of dollars?
That's the key.
Who knows?
Well, we're out of time, Chuck. It's been a pleasure. I hope you got as much out of this as I do. God bless you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.